Western culture now, I feel like our connection with our history has been sort of papered over by sort of mass consumerism and sort of wage slavery and mass media. And in Haiti, I think it's fantastic. It's a bit like if in the West, history is sort of like a long time after the volcano, you have this sort of cold, dry, sort of hardened lava that was thrown out, you know, thousands of years ago. In Haiti, it's still sort of bubbling and it's still molten and red hot. And the history bubbles all around you. And I think what really interests me is that Haitian people, and this is Haitian people of the lower classes, take hold of this history. They retell and retransmit this fantastic history in many, many different surreal and wonderful ways. And that's, I really think, what they do with their art and their culture. So I thought that the word caste particularly suited being in the Regency Townhouse in Brighton, because the period in British and Haitian history that I'm looking back to is around about 1804 and 1807, and so the Regency era being 1811 to 1820. I think it works far better for me than a white cube, because the four sort of components of the installation as a whole are about either looking from the present into the future or looking from the present into the past, and also finding the past embedded in the present. So I think it sort of really means so much more that they could be in this fantastic old building. The Caste portraits was something I've been thinking about for many years, and actually I made those and finished them in 2012. But for me, there was a sense that it was a conversation that only just started, and there was so much more to come out of it, really. And even by making those sort of portraits and asking really whether or not can I appropriate Haiti's history? Is Haiti's history in any way my history? And at the same time, of course, questioning my role as a sort of photographer and representer of another culture and class. So then after that, my partner, who's a Haitian sculptor, he came to Britain, and we made a trip on a sort of Mersey cruise from Manchester to Liverpool, which is, you know, the Industrial Revolution, to a city built on the slave trade, going past where I was born, Ellesmere Port. And I guess there was something about this, the fact that knowing that my history actually in a way was equidistant between these two major sort of forces that created the society and the capital in which we live now. So more and more, I think that the first time I took that cruise, more and more, especially doing it with Eugène, was realizing that you can't really separate these two histories. The history of the Haitian slaves revolt, you know, the fact that it was the first independent black republic, you know, in the Western Hemisphere in 1804, it's totally bound up with the creation of the British working class, because even though by 1807 we'd put an end to the British involvement in the slave trade, at the same time, Manchester industrialists had also got rid of most of the laws that protected the British working class as they're building this new powerhouse to create capital. So I realized that my ancestors who come from that area and will be those sort of dispossessed peasants after the Enclosure Act that would have ended up in these Manchester factories really are very, very sort of involved in Eugène's ancestors, and these histories are intervolved histories, not two separate histories running on parallel tracks, never to cross. I'd always thought I wanted to make a film, you know, of this journey from Manchester to Liverpool. Seeing the title, The British Library, actually allowed that fact to burst into my consciousness, and made total sense of the project then. Then I thought about this mural that I was constantly seeing over the years in Jack Mel, this amazing little mural on a wall, and the only thing I ever noticed it said "Live a Fool," Liverffool, 1818, next to it. And I'd always thought, oh, that's so sweet. For some reason, this really odd mural, and somehow it's based around Liverpool. So I did more research into that and found out that supposedly this old machinery did exist, and it was somebody after the Haitian Revolution who was trying to set up another plantation and looking to Britain and to Britain's industrial forces and looking for a sort of progressive, modern way of running his plantation without slavery. So that was totally how, you know, the title of Yinka's work just sparked this off in my mind and helped me sort of make a lot of connections that I hadn't thought of making before.